Okay, so for the next hormone, let me see if I can move this over, make it a little brighter. I didn't realize how archaic my old document camera was. I wish it was giving a better picture, but I've made all my videos with this, and I gotta say I'm not that pleased with how it looks. However, I think it'll be okay for this week. I hope you're getting through everything. This next handout is 18F, I believe, or something close to that. But you should see that it says hormones of the posterior pituitary. So remember, the pituitary gland is actually two glands. The anterior pituitary is that handout that we just did. The posterior pituitary is on the back, and it's a different gland altogether. Now, the posterior pituitary is way easier to deal with than our anterior pituitary because there's no releasing hormones. We're just using neurotransmitters to send a signal to the posterior pituitary to release these hormones. These hormones are actually made in the hypothalamus, and then they're released by the posterior pituitary. And luckily, we only have two, oxytocin and antidiuretic hormone. So if you remember, oxytocin is going to stimulate the uterus to contract during childbirth, and it also tells our breast tissue to eject fluid. Now that fluid could be colostrum for the first couple of days that you're breastfeeding your baby, or it could be milk. So it just depends. And then I should mention that oxytocin acts as a neurotransmitter, and so it's often called the hormone of love because it affects our brain for long-term relationships. So we've talked about oxytocin numerous times. We've also, our very first hormone that we ever talked about in this class back in August was antidiuretic hormone. So remember, the posterior pituitary releases antidiuretic hormone, which tells our kidneys to retain water so we don't get dehydrated if we're losing water. So as we get dehydrated, we're producing antidiuretic hormone, which then tells our kidneys to retain water. So we keep as much water in our body as possible when we are dehydrated. All right, so this is a pretty straightforward, simple diagram. You got to know these hormones as well. All right, this was short and sweet. I like that.